It's not written there. We are the ones sometimes who who make our own ways because of our foolish decision, because of a wrong decision in life. And guess what? Tatanzam is faithful. Brother Samba spoke. He's established a plan for you. It's like a parent. A parent will establish will form a plan for his children. You know, kindergarten, primary school, then high school, and then college or university. But it's up to for the children to decide his own future. If the child say, you know what, I don't want to study anymore, well, you can't do anything. You as a parent. Tata Nzambi gave us free will to decide. Parent, are we correct?
Ngeta.
You know, many of you are parents, you know. Many of you have children. And some maybe didn't finish school or struggling to finish school because of a wrong decision they made in life. The same thing applies to the Most High. What we go through, it's because of our wrong decision. And guess what? It is us who decide that. We must pay the price. We must assume the consequences. Mama Tola, next slide speaks about how our star is stolen. How your star, how your destiny can be stolen and be given to someone else. How? You know, but the first question is it possible for your destiny? Is it possible for somebody else living your own destiny? Is it possible for the money you saved for your child to go to college, you sponsor someone else because your child is misbehaving instead of studying? Is consuming drug, you know, smoking, drinking, and living his own life? Parent, is it possible for you to sponsor somebody else?
Yep.
Yes.
That's possible. Same thing applies to us. Is it possible for your destiny to be stolen? Is it possible for your star that drives your future to be stolen? Yes. Let us check the book. You know, Ezekiel 13:18. Ezekiel 13:18 says as follows. This is what the sovereign Lord says. What sorrow awaits you, women, who are ensnaring the souls of my people? You know, that was a warning for the witches because they were stealing, they were capturing the soul of people. They will cage your soul and will put you in jail, in prison. That's why Christ, he says, I came to free those who are in captivity, not physically, to fight the Roman Empire. No, the fight is spiritual. Woe, what sorrows await you, women, who is snaring the soul of my people, young and old alike. Wow. You tie magic charms on their waist and furnish them with magic veils. Do you think you can trap others without bringing destruction on yourselves? Do you think you can trap others without bringing destruction on yourselves? You know, verse 19, you bring shame on me among my people for a few handful of barley or a piece of bread, by lying to my people who love to listen to lies. You kill those who should not die and promise life to those who should not live.
Yalla.
Yalla.
Did you understand, family? What those witches they will do, you know? Remember, Brother Samba spoke about life. Christ came to give us life in abundance. And the Bible says, those witches, they kill those who should not die and and promise life to those who should not live. In other words, they steal, because when they steal your destiny, family, you're dead. There are people, they are walking in life, but, if they do not commit suicide, it's because they're afraid. But for them, their life is finished. What they go through is a lot. And some even they commit suicide. Why? Because they see themselves as dead people. There's no reason to exist, to live anymore. Things are tough. So those witches, they steal, they trap your soul. They cage your soul. They put you in prison. And all the blessing that somebody gave to you, they give to somebody else. And somebody else will live your life. That book is to respond that it is possible for your destiny and your star to be stolen. The moment your star is stolen, over, your destiny is gone. Your destiny is gone. Your car will be driving with no direction. The direction is to go straight, but you will go sometimes right, you will go left, you will go right, you will go left. And now that we know that it is possible, how our destiny or star is stolen? Your star or your destiny can be stolen even before or after your birth. Before or after birth, it is possible for you to be destroyed before or after your birth. And third, your destiny or your star can be stolen through a piece of cloth that belongs to you. Can be stolen through money, your money, or any other personal object that serve as a point of contact. This world is spiritual, family. Brother Samba said, do not be ignorant about the spiritual things. You are a spiritual being. You must understand the spiritual thing. We are spiritual beings, and we must understand. We are not alone in this world. There are many agents of the devil, many. And if we are weak in prayer and they come across a piece of cloth that belongs to us, money, that came from us, or even other personal object that belongs to us, that will serve as a point of contact to trace you. That will serve as a fingerprint to find where you are and to target you. And the next one, your destiny, your star, can be stolen through sexual intercourse. This is the major one. This is what is busy destroying many, many people, through sexual intercourse. Because guess what? There's no children here. Sex is good. In the church, they say amen. Will anybody say amen?
Amen.
Or are you ashamed? Don't be ashamed. You're not a kid. The devil didn't create sex or sexual intercourse. Tatanzami created everything. And after he created everything, he said it is good. That's why he created male and female to produce. Sexual intercourse is good. But the problem is when you do outside of the law of the Most High. That's a huge problem. That's a spiritual event you can do. But the spiritual act, when you do, you bind yourself. You get stuck. They trap you. They arrest you spiritually. Let's see what the book of Proverbs says. The book of Proverbs, let's go very quick, says as follows. 5:16 to 18. If you do understand this, family, your life will change forever. When Moses says, be holy, purify yourself, purify, stay away from this, stay away from that. It is not just because, he's telling you because he just don't want you to do that. No. There's a reason behind. Let's see Proverbs 5, 16, 18. Follow carefully. Proverbs 16, 18 says, why spill the water of your springs in the street, having sex with just anyone? Why? Why do you do that? Verse 17, you should reserve it for yourselves. Never share it with strangers. Verse 18, let your wife be a fountain of blessing for you. That means let your partner that you got married with be a blessing for you. When you do inside the covenant with his marriage, it is a blessing. When you do outside, it is disgrace and curse. Verse 18, let your wife be a fountain of blessing for you. Rejoice in the wife of your youth, especially for young people. Not just young people, but all the ages, but especially young people. Verse 2, let's go to verse 2. It says as follows. Then you will show discernment, and your lips will express what you have learned. For the lips of an immoral woman, I will put in bracket, or man, are as sweet as honey. Baby, I love you, but you don't know, you are kissing a devil. The devil, Brother Sambale said last time, the devil has many agents. The devil also use people. And those men or women that come from the devil, they are handsome.
And one of them, especially to other men, to women as well, is Proverbs. Solomon speaking away from such woman. Don't even go near to a door. If you do, others will gain the respect that you once had. And you will die young at the hands of merciless people. Yes, a stranger will take all your and with someone else. You see, family, by the time we are going to speak it very open, decide to start having a sexual relation, many people, Nzambe say that we should only have one wife, one partner. Oh, thanks, Danpange. Tanika's back. Yeah. Luvu, vamos!
Yalla.
Yalla. Yalla.
It's good to have you back, Pani.
Oh, Matana Masaka, thank you very much. I'm sorry, I had a load shedding with blackout. Yes, but you can finish, Brother Tsamba, what you were saying. Thank you very much. Praise the Tanzania, I'm back.
Nzambe is good. So as I was saying, family, by the time Nzambe say only one, and I to Samba and other people say, no, one wife is not enough. Let me go start having many wives, having a relationship outside marriage. A woman as well, she decided to have a lot of men, family. Sexual relation, it connects not only the body, but the spirit. When you end up having that with the wrong person, with a lot of demons, you attract all that demons to your life. Result, destroy your blessing, as we read here. You become weak. You lose your spiritual vision, and it's over. So, as Frank said, sometimes it is not Tatanzambe, it is us who decide to take a wrong way, and then the consequences comes, family. It is not only them who steal our star, our destiny, but sometimes we are the one who go and give it freely. And then we start crying, why? If I knew before. But now Nzambe is giving us a chance today not to make mistakes and then repent. So I think we have a long video to go. Let me just stop here to give you time to play the video.
Ingeta. Masaka Samba. Family, thank you very much for your patience. Sorry, I had a technical issue. Brother Sam spoke, something very important, and please be patient. And we'd like to your attention for us to listen for this short video, all right? So that we can, we can confirm what we are speaking about on how this thing is happen, how a person's time destiny is stolen. Please watch this video and listen carefully. Listen carefully. These are real stuff that's happened, in the land. But it doesn't only happen in Africa. It's happening in Europe, Asia, around the world. Please listen to it.
To another episode here on European Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and this message, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. Then I had to ask one of our admins to give us a translation. I received this message a couple of days ago. Then I posted it on our other platform. The message reads like this: "Hello, my brother, how are you? Can you please post for me as anonymous? I have a message that I want to share with you. This confession was given to me by my parents. The rituals that they did on me ended up on me becoming a very successful business person. Everything that I touch, it immediately turns into gold. But this gift that was given to me by my ancestors, it was not meant to be my gift that I was born with, but my parents stole this gift from my cousin brother. All of these riches that I have today, they were supposed to be his riches, but my parents did some evil rituals that made him to lose his mind, and the ancestors then gave his gifts to me. And even now, my ancestors do not even realize that me and my parents, we do this ritual each and every year, because just before November, we have to perform a certain ritual so as to make our ancestors to look the other way. In our culture, we believe that when it is November, that is when our year ends, and all of our ancestors, they go back to their resting places. So no rituals or marriages are supposed to take place in the month of November. So my parents told me that just before November, I had to slaughter a certain animal and pour some brewed beer on top of one of our ancestors' grave that is there back in our village. So we come from a family of tribal chiefs. So most of our ancestors' grave, they are still there. So what me and my parents do is that when we go there in secret, we then slaughter that animal. Then I would then pour some beer on top of our ancestors' grave so that they won't take back this gift that we stole from my cousin brother. There are other rituals that only my mother can perform. Each and every year in October, I have to leave my wife and my kids behind here in South Africa and quickly rush back home for that ritual. My greatest fear right now is that if I were to fail to perform this ritual, and if I do not perform that ritual, my businesses will fail, because this is what one of my mother's friend told her, who is a witch doctor. That witch doctor told my parents that if I do not perform that ritual, then my ancestors will realize the mistake that they did. Then they will take that ritual. Then they will take that gift far away from me. Then my businesses will fail. And if my businesses will fail with the way that I have spoiled my South African wife, I don't know if she will be able to stay with me if I would ever go broke. Growing up in the village, we were people who were far from being rich. My parents were so poor. My parents were so poor that we had to depend on our uncle who was in the city just for survival. As I grew older, my mother became more open with me, and she told me a life story from the time that she met my father, who was working at that time as an electrician. But soon after they had met, my father was then fired from his job. It was like him meeting with our mom had brought bad luck on him. When my father married my mother, our mom told us that she was then hated by the whole family. The other reason why she was hated, it was because my mom was someone who really used a lot of herbs. So there was too much tension between our mother and our grandmother, since our grandmother was someone who was said to be a very devoted Christian. And as for our mother, even now, we all know that our mom, she has this other thing that in Shona we call nyengerekezi. I don't know if we can say if this is a curse or if it is a gift, but when you have this thing that is called nyengerekezi in Shona, what happens to you is that if you hold a newborn baby in your arms, the spiritual energy that will be transferred from your hands to that baby might end up killing the baby or making the baby so sick. The one who can only heal this kind of a curse is the one who also have the same gift that is called nyengerekezi. So even when my wife gave birth, we fought so hard with my wife because she wanted us to go back to Zim, because at that time we were building on one of our properties that we have there in Zim. So I gave her a lot of excuses because I didn't want us to go with our newborn baby back to Zim. And the more that I refused without giving her any proper explanation, she got so angry with me, thinking that maybe back home I have a second wife. But how could I ever tell my own wife that if my mother was going to hold our child when our child was still a newborn baby, our baby would die? Even now, she doesn't even know why whenever my mother visits us here in South Africa, she always has an excuse as to why she can't hold her grandchildren, especially when the child is still below the age of 9 months. It is a secret that troubles me always. Whenever my mom visits us here in South Africa, she will pretend as if she has flu or any kind of a sickness, and she will say that I can't hold the baby because I don't want the baby to get sick. But the real reason behind this that my wife doesn't know is that my mom, she has this kind of a curse that is called nyengerekezi. If she were to hold our baby might die if my mom doesn't do anything so as to cure our baby. So when my grandmother noticed that a lot of her grandchildren were dying, and before she could know who was causing this, my grandmother was found dead in her bedroom. And with the death of our grandmother, then the family was left without anyone to defend it against my mother's charms. This is what my mom told me the day that she confessed everything that she did. When my cousin brother was born, our uncle and his wife came to the village as per our custom to show the baby to the rest of our family members. My mother said that when she held our cousin brother in her arms, she then had a vision, and in that vision she saw what my cousin brother's future was going to be like. And she said that she saw my cousin brother who was walking on a road, but on the road that my cousin brother was walking on, the road was paved with stones that were all over the place. And when she picked up one stone, she then realized that these stones, they were not normal stones, but they were precious stones representing a very blessed life. And that is when my mother decided to steal those blessings from my cousin brother and to give those blessings to me. But this didn't happen in one day. It took my parents many years for them to successfully transfer that gift from my brother and give that gift to me. The way that they did this is that my mother was given some charms, and those charms, even now, she still have those charms. When my mom was given those charms, after using them, she was supposed to throw them away. But my mom, she still have those charms, and she has refused to throw them away. Whenever I try to speak with her, and whenever I try to convince her to throw away those charms, but she has refused. So those charms that my mom was given by her witch doctor, those charms can make my mother transform herself into a very small human being. And when she has transformed herself into that very small human being, she can do whatever she wants when she wants to bewitch someone. So after she was given those charms, she left the village and she went to the capital city where my uncle, his wife, and his family were staying. But my mother first went and stayed with her relatives. But when she was staying with them, their neighbor's child became so ill. My mom told me that the child nearly died because of Nyengerekezi, that charm that she has in her body. But she could not confess this to her relatives. She could not say that it was a charm that was making the baby to fall ill. And another thing that was stopping my mom from bewitching my cousin brother in time was that the landlord at night, what the landlord used to do was that the landlord would go around the yard with a bucket of water, praying whilst sprinkling the water around. So my mom said that when she would wake up and transform herself into that creature, when she would get out of the house, she would see that the whole yard would be surrounded by an ocean. So she failed to find a way until one night the landlord went to a funeral. Then my mom, when she woke up, when she got outside, she managed to find a way out of the house. Then she went to bewitch my cousin brother. When she arrived there, she entered into my cousin brother's bedroom and placed some charms on him and returned back to the village. But my mom found out that the ancestors were still protecting my cousin brothers. So what my mother, father, and their witch doctor planned to do was that they said that they will put some charms in the grains and pretend to take the food to my uncle as if they really loved him. This food, it was from the village. It was in form of maize grains, peanut butter, and stuff like that. And the charms were put in the food so that when my cousin will be eating the food, his spirit will be weakened. After that was done, I was sent to stay with my uncle so that the gifts can be then transferred to me. When I arrived there one night, when me and my cousin were fast asleep, I had a dream, and in my dreams, it was me and my cousin brother. We were walking in an ancient forest. As we were walking, we saw a very old man who walked towards us, but he looked like he was a hunter, and he had his hunting weapons. This old man was our ancestors, and there in our dreams, we knew that this old man, he was our ancestors. So he then chose to give his weapons to my brother, but because my brother was so weakened by the poisonous food that he had been eating for a very long time, he felt to stretch out his hands so that he can accept the spear and the bow and the arrow that he was being handed to by that old man. When I saw that my cousin brother, he was too weak, I then stepped in front of him and I accepted those weapons, and then our ancestors, after handing me those weapons, he then disappeared. From that day, I then started to experience a lot of good luck. My mother said that just like our ancestors who used to go into the forest and hunt big game, so shall it be so with me. But
Step into Wick Studio, the new web creation platform built for
Can you hear
agencies,
it perfectly?
where
family?
creative freedom and absolute efficiency always click, and exceptional web
Yes, sir.
Family, can you hear the audio properly?
Ingeta.
Ingeta.
All right, let us continue.
now we no longer big game like our ancestors who used to go into the forest and hunt big game, so shall it be so with me. But now we no longer hunt animals, but we hunt money. This is the prayer that I was taught to say whenever I'll be pouring beer on our ancestors' grave. This is what I say: all our ancestors, in your time, you used to go into the forest, chase after big game and hunt big game. But now the world that we are living in, it is very different from the world that you know. So please help me not to hunt wild animals, but please help me to hunt money, because the world that we are living in, it is very different from the world that you knew. This is the prayer that I was taught by my mother to say whenever I am pouring beer on top of my ancestors' grave. It doesn't matter, my brother. Even today, if you were to take all of my riches away from me, even if I go to any land that I can go to, I will become so successful in life because of the gift that was stolen from my cousin brother. So after all of the rituals were performed, then after the dream, my cousin brother became mentally ill, and even now his life is stuck in one position because of his condition. Recently, I was in the process of purchasing a Toyota GD6 for my father, who is back in Zim. But after signing all of the paperwork, I then had a very bad guilty feeling. It's like a voice just spoke to me, and the voice said to me, all of this wealth, it is not yours, for it belongs to your brother. Then that voice just went silent. But that voice that spoke to me, it left such a guilty feeling that I told those guys at the dealership that I would come back and collect that car. I felt so guilty to even drive that car, because when we had gone there, I was with my driver. What I had planned to do was that I was going to drive the car back home, and my driver will be just behind me driving my car. But the guilty feeling that was left in my heart by that little voice was just too much, so I pretended as if I wanted to rush to a meeting. The thing that terrifies me the most is that there is this ritual that I can't even perform yet, and this ritual, I am still dependent so much upon my mother for it to be performed. If she was to die today, then what, my brother? But my mother and that witch doctor, they've both promised me that even if my mom was to die today, the witch doctor and my father will keep on assisting me so that the gifts will not be returned back to the ancestors. Dear listeners, right there was...
Okay. Luvuvamu.
Yalla.
Did you understand, family? Sometimes when life is stuck, sometimes, we just think, oh, people will say that is the will of God, that's the will of God, just accept. No, Brother Samba said, Dr. Samba said to us, the plan he has for us is a plan to prosper us. But let us continue, family. Let us continue to this, to the next one. The next one is very short, just 7 minutes. All right. Please listen carefully once again. These stories are real. Those are real stuff. It's happened here in the land and across the world. Don't think that even America or Europe doesn't happen. It is everywhere. Everywhere. And by the way, the Western, they made this a system. They created a system. So let's see, family. Let's see. This is the second one. This is just a 7 minute, right? We won't finish everything.
Namibia, Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Zambia.
Can you listen, family?
Ingeta, we can hear. Yes.
Okay.
Zimbabwe. We are operating in South Africa, Namibia, Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and they are thinking the organization's main mission is to steal people's destinies. We use money to steal. I pretend as if I'm asking for change. If one gives me, we are able to access his destiny through his or her sweat on the money. We also have fake taxes, faking tax. Yellow viewers, welcome once again to another Lifetime Confessions. Usually we'll be Never touch that dial. Viewers, without wasting much of your time, let's go straight into our confessions. Here is our confession. Hello, uncle. Please hide my identity when publishing. I am a young man aged 15. My mom sold me to a cult which is using me doing this evil work. The following is a summary of my life story. Dad passed away in 2015. He died before divorced with mom. My dad has many girlfriends. We used to see him at home once in a while. He could be at nightclubs enjoying himself, yet sometimes we could be without food. Dad got sexual transmitted diseases from girlfriends. As a result, mom got sick for a long time. She was unable to speak, bath, or eat on her own. For months, relatives never knew mom was HIV positive. Due to the time it took with no changes, one of mom's brothers suggested she should get tested. All blood tests were done. Mom tested HIV positive. During that time, my father never returned. Maybe he was afraid of being beaten by my maternal uncles. He was only sending man, giving excuses on not returning home. Dad always said he was busy with work. Mom later recovered after starting medications. As time goes on, she fully recovered to an extent that no one could see she was HIV positive with naked eyes. After almost 2 years, Dad giving excuses after excuse after excuse, Mom started cheating on Dad with another man. The boyfriend was from South Africa. He said he was a priest. We did not go to his church a single day. He never asked to go with us a single day. When mom requested to accompany him to the church, he always gave excuses. Dad retained he was sick but didn't know the problem before noticing mom was taking HIV medicines. Dad went and got tested. He did not accept his HIV status and committed suicide. The pain also increased after noticing mom was pregnant for another man. We moved to my mom's boyfriend place. The mansion was awesome. We have everything we needed. The stepfather said he wanted to marry mom, but on one condition: you should be able to change my biological father's surname to his surname. Mom really loved the man. She agreed and gave him permission. After divorcing my father, Mom never liked me like before. Sometimes he could start to scold me on behalf of my father. We went to Pretoria. Stepdad bribed a friend in the Department of Registration. It seems as if it was his habit from way back. It was done in less than a week. 2 weeks after my surname was changed, Mom passed away. Everyone was shocked. It was a sudden death. Her sister noticed her already dead, fallen in the bathroom. Post-mortem said nothing. Instead, relatives were told to bury her on the day he was taken from the mortuary. Soon after burial, stepdad took me to South Africa. Traveling with me was so easy since he was my biological father on paper. In South Africa, stepdad took me to this doctor's surgery. I don't recall everything because I was still young, but I recall some of the things. I recall the doctor took something from my stomach. Since then, I never think about my relatives. I became a changed person. I started staying at this house in Pretoria. We were more than 30 boys. He said to all my kids, we believed in him. We thought God was using him, but we were lost. We were staying with the devil himself. He gave us everything we wanted and asked. Last year, but one, I started dreaming at a shrine in a forest. At the first dream, it was like I was graduating with other boys. Shockingly, those boys I was staying with, we were standing in a straight line facing a very old man sitting on a very big golden chair. He stepped down from the chair and gave us blood to drink. We drank except one guy who refused. The old man, he headed him and he fell on floor. We were given different tasks. The following morning, That guy who refused to drink blood died. Everyone I saw in the dream was talking the same. The guy who refused to drink the blood fell down whilst bathing. The organization's main mission is to steal people's destinies. We use money to steal. I pretend as if I'm asking for change. If one gives me, we are able to access his destiny through his or her sweat on the money. We also have fake taxes. Faking tax business, only in need to access your destiny through your money. We are operating in South Africa, Namibia, Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and they are thinking to expand. Recently, I took this other girl's money. I tried to access here, but I lost my voice in the process. Our cult leader punished me for being overpowered. Now my manhood is decaying as punishment. It's so painful. I am in pain and tears now. I need advice. I always wished one day I could have a child, but it seems as if it's going to be a fail. Yellow solution, uncle.
All right. Luvuvamu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matondo Masaka to your family, that was the two videos we would like to share with you. I don't know if you did pay attention to the video. Family, did you understand the content of the video?
Yes.
The first one, their cousin. And one cousin stole, the other cousin's destiny. The result, the person whom his destiny was stolen is mentally ill. And the other guy who stole is succeeding in life. And this person, this last, video, the last audio we heard, they steal people's destiny through money. There are many means. Many. And this is just one organization. And you wonder how many organizations there are. But one of the most common ways is through sexual intercourse. That is the dangerous one, in which people do not understand. People get lost in the act by enjoying the pleasure of the flesh. But later on, as the book of Proverbs 5 says, it is a disaster. It is a huge disaster. And those people that do this kind of job, there's no difference between them and us. You look to them, you see human being, normal. When you look to them, it's like it's a normal human being. Just look like you, a normal person. But deep inside, we have even no idea what they are capable of. Do you think all the problem you go through in life is because that is the will of the Most High? Do you think the stage where you find yourselves is the will of the Most High? Well, sometimes is, but sometimes is not. And in most cases, it is not his will. Because Jeremiah, 29:11, it says, the plan I have for you is not the plan to frustrate your mind. It's not. That's not my plan. So family, we will, finish you by giving you the last consideration so that we can help. We spoke a lot on the problems, cause, and Brother Sama will take us into the last message, in which we will read very fast so that we can finish and listen from you as well. Yatsamba Matano Masaka. Okay, Matano Masaka. So, Mama Zola, can you just present, please? Sister Laura, can you be ready? We will read very fast because we're running out of time. Be patient, family. We're finishing right now. Yes, Mama Tola, you have access to present. Are you winning, Mama Tola?
Yeah, I don't see the option for me to share.
Just check.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. I can click on it.
Life is a spiritual family. Do not take your human life as a normal life. No, it's not. Life is spiritual. Don't think that we are alone in this world. No, we are not. Life is spiritual. Matona Masaka, Mama Matzola. So now we will, we have already seen or heard some consequences when our destiny and star is stolen. Sister Laura, can you please read for us the consequences of a stolen destiny, when we decide because of our ignorance, by refusing the truth and the word that gives life and life in abundance, and we decide to walk in our own flesh, according to the desire of our flesh. Those are the consequences. Laura, please, you can read from point 1 to you can read everything.
Ingeta. All the blessings Nzambi has assigned for you goes to someone else. The devil steals from you and passes it on to someone else. They exchange your strength for weakness. They exchange your vision with frustration. They exchange your prayerfulness with prayerlessness. They can exchange your increase for a decrease. They exchange progress with stagnancy. They exchange your confidence with inferiority. When you don't have confidence, what will come up is inferiority. Every opportunity you see is like you are not up to the task. They can exchange your life with death. When I talk about death, it is not only physical death, but it can be financial death, marital death, academic death, health death, etc. They exchange your light with darkness. They exchange your health with sickness. They can exchange someone's financial life with financial death. They can exchange your prosperity with poverty. Were you rich and all of a sudden your wealth began to disappear? They can exchange your vigilance with ignorance. They can exchange your wisdom with foolishness. They can exchange your hard work with laziness. Before you were doing very well, but later on you started slacking. They can exchange your fulfillment with frustration. And they can exchange your focus with distraction.
Ingeta. Those are the consequence of disobedience. And also when they steal your destiny and star without even your consent.